Hello viewers, my dear students. My name is Bhatt Rafi. I am lecturer in zoology subject. My YouTube channel is Bhatt Rafi's Lectures, and today my topic is reproduction. Types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and its types for class 12 students. Dear students, you know that the individual organism dies at the end of its lifetime, but species continue to live from generation to generation. Reproduction is a vital process without which species cannot survive. For long, reproduction is the process of generating offsprings, and all the living things reproduce. It is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones similar to itself. The offspring grow, mature, and in turn produce new offsprings. Due to enormous diversity of the living organisms in the biological world, each organism has adopted its own mechanism to multiply and produce offspring. The selection of the mode of reproduction depends collectively on the organism's habitat, physiology, and several other factors. The main purpose of reproduction is, an advantage of reproduction is continue and preserve the species. Continue and preserve the species. And second important advantage of reproduction is pass species genetic identity. Pass species genetic identity. And third purpose of the reproduction is keep the evolutionary chain going. Keep the evolutionary chain going. They keep life going, keep generation going. And this reproduction is also to that. So, in simple words, I define the reproduction. Reproduction is the ability of living organism. Reproduction. It is the ability of living organisms. It is the ability of living organisms by which they produce. It is the ability of living organisms by which they produce offspring of their own kind. Offspring of their own kind. This is the definition of reproduction. And reproduction is the ability of living organism by which they produce offspring of their own kind. Or we say that reproduction is the biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones, offspring similar to itself. It is one of the fundamental characteristics of life, in the production of young ones by the parent. If you go for types of reproduction, there are two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction and another is sexual reproduction. My today's topic is the asexual reproduction. It is kinds. So, you all know asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction or uniparental reproduction. It is called the uniparental reproduction. Uniparental reproduction, or we call it the asexual reproduction. In this type of reproduction, in which the new individual or offsprings are formed without the fusion of male and female gametes. Without the fusion of male and female gametes. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. One parent is involved in the formation of new individuals. You all know that it is in so many periodics and some protests. Or we say in this method, a single individual or parent is capable of producing offspring. As a result, the offspring that are produced cannot only identical to one another, offspring which are produced are not only identical to one another but also exact copies of their parents. But also exact copies of their parent. So this important thing, the organism, individual, is capable of producing offspring. As a result, the offsprings that are produced are not only identical to one another but also exact copies of their parent. This is the asexual reproduction. If you go for types of the asexual reproduction, I will make here chart is asexual reproduction. It is two types asexual reproduction. It is first fission. Fission is of two types: binary fission and multiply fission. And second type is the fragmentation. And third type is the budding and spore formation and regeneration. And the vegetative propagation is of two types: natural method and artificial method. You all know that artificial method, that is layering, cutting, grafting, tissue culture. So these are the types of the asexual reproduction. Budding is the two types: external budding, internal budding. External budding and internal. External budding, hydra, and this is the types of one by one I will explain. First, we go for the fission. First, we describe the fission. First type of asexual reproduction is the fission. The fission, in this type of asexual reproduction, in which fully grown parent organism divides into two. Fully grown parent divides into two. Divides into in a fully grown, fully matured parent organism divides into two or more than two daughter cells. Which grow new individuals. The process of fission are most common in unicellular organisms such as bacteria, protozoa, etc. In a process of fission is of two types. In a binary fission, and second is the multiply fission. First we go for binary fission. You all know that binary fission. This binary fission, it is a type of asexual reproduction in which body of a unicellular organism divided into two daughter cells. Body of unicellular organism divided into two. In a body of unicellular organism divided into two daughter cells, which grow as a new individual and which grow as a new individual. And this type of reproduction is found in amoeba, paramecium. This binary amoeba, paramecium, euglena, etc. I already told these are the unicellular organisms. Second type is the binary means two, multicellular. In this type of asexual reproduction, in which the body of a unicellular organism divided into many daughter cells. In a body of the unicellular organism divided into many daughter cells. This means in this process, nucleus of the parent cell divides repeatedly to form a number of daughter nuclei. Each daughter nucleus is surrounded by cytoplasm and plasma membrane, and thus a number of daughter cells are formed. Each cell separate and led to the independent life. These are the multiply fission in brief. Now we go for the second type is the budding. You know that asexual reproduction first is the fission. Fission has two subtypes, binary fission and multiply fission. Now second type of asexual reproduction is the budding. In budding, a small bud like outgrowth develop in the body from body of an organism. In budding, a small bulb like outgrowth develops on the body of an organism called the bud. The bud develops into a tiny individual when fully mature, detached from the parental in the body and becomes new independent individual and become in a body detached when it's mature become the new individual. This type of reaction takes place in ciliates, hydra, yeast, enceladus, etc. This is the budding. Now we go for fragmentation. Fragmentation. You all know that fragmentation in this type of asexual reproduction in which a parental body breaks into two or more parts. In a parental body breaks into two or more fragments, either by wave action, for example, sponge or wave action, or by death or decay of old part. Death or decay by old part. Each body fragment is developed into an organism. It is found in some flatworms, echinoderms, cinemours, and planarians. These are found in that. In case of plant, it's found in algae. If you go for advantage of this fragmentation, advantage is simple. There is no need of asexual reproduction. There is no need of when the body break into two parts, each part grow. There is no need of asexual reproduction. And second advantage is rapid rate of reproduction. You know the fragment is always accompanied by the regeneration. And third type of asexual reproduction is the spore formation. Spore is a reproductive cell capable of developing into a new individual without fusion with one reproductive cell. Spore has different from gamete, which are reproductive cells that must fuse in pairs in order to give rise to a new individual. Spores are agents of asexual reproduction. You all important. Spores are the agents of asexual reproduction. Spores are the agents of asexual reproduction. And but spores are produced by bacteria. You all know that I will repeat this spore formation. Spore is a reproductive cell capable of developing into a new individual without fusion with another reproductive cell. Spore thus different from gamete, which are reproductive cells that must fuse in pairs in order to give rise to a new individual. I already told spores are the agent of asexual reproduction, where gamete are agents of the sexual. Gametes, male and female, gametes, sperm and ovum, they are the agents of sexual reproduction. Spores are produced by the bacteria, fungi and green plants. Spores are the specialized cells. They are the specialized cells capable of growing into new individuals. Spores are formed in a sac-like structure called the sporanginium. Spores are liberated from the superungium, which when fall a suitable substratum grow into the individual. Spore formation is the most common in algae, bacteria and fungi. This was the spore formation. Now we go for the regeneration. Now we go for the another type of the asexual reproduction, that is the regeneration. Regeneration, it is restoration of the new growth by an organism from tissue. It is the restoration or new growth by an organism of organ, tissue, etc. that have been lost, removed or injured. Many protists like amoeba that have been out in half, that have been cut into half, can grow back into a complete organism. So long enough of the nucleus. Material is undamaged. Several cell parts such as flagella can also be regrown in protists, microorganisms like sponges, hydra, palladium, etc. So, if we define in other way, it is the process of renewal, restoration and growth. It can be occur at the level of cells, tissues and organs. It is common in hydra. I already told it is common in hydra, planarian, platypus, echinoderm. Example is that you all know the lizard. You have seen the lizard, reptile, can discard a part of tail when in danger. When he go here to prey. And a lizard can discard a part of tail when in danger. And the tail can regenerate later. The tail is cut, it can regenerate later. You all know that in human beings too, the liver can regenerate if partially damaged, if minor cirrhosis, minor damage. So, these are the types of the sexual reproduction. So, next part is the sexual reproduction. I will teach the sexual reproduction. Thank you all.